Okay, some people want some tutorials, but they want tutorials on different things that I use casually for almost every single animation. So, first one is literally my entire thing of how I use most or make most of my animations, the base stick figure. So, there are three here for a reason. So, as you can see, this one is all one piece. This one is separated into two pieces, and this one is separated into three. So this one used to be the old stick figure, like the one that I would usually use. It's all one piece. It's all of its limbs are stretchy except for its head. Now, I stopped using it because of that. Because its head is something I can't change freely, it limits the amount of potential that I could put, that I could apply it to, you know. The amount of potential is drastically shorter because it's limited. So what did I do? I basically decapitated it and just put it on this guy. So this guy's actually two separate stick figures. The body is exactly the same as the first, but its head is just not there. And this is the stick figure that I've been using lately. Like all of the ones that I've used usually, I use this stick figure, the one without the head. And this one I'm just now getting into using for the part of something. It's also in the part of something part 6. Yes, that's right. I'm working on it. And I use it specifically for like if I'm making these guys big and I'm making like a close up. So basically like if I was to do this or something and just make it really close up. Now I do this so I can simulate, one limb being in front, the other limb being in back or something, even for running. I can do this for like all of my animations, but the thing is when I have to move it forward, I also have to move everything else forward. So it's super free. It could be moved around freely and changed freely, but it's a little too free. So it makes it a little annoying to use casually. So that's the first one. Now, how do I make them? Well, that's easy. I'll make one right now. So let's go here. See this stick right here? This beautiful baby boy stick right here. So I'm gonna grab a round segment. I'm gonna make it stretchy, and I'm just gonna do this. Boom. That's literally what I do. That's literally how it is. It's literally nothing else. That's it. It's just me just like smashing together some round segments that are stretchy, and then calling it a stick figure at the end of the day. Now, why do I do this? Well, that's easy. They're stretchy. So even though it looks like this now, I can change it later, and it will look much much better. So that's why I do it. Basically, you just grab the original stick figure and you make all of the limbs, including the base one that it starts off with, stretching. Every single one. The head does not exist. Do not add a head, or you will be limited on certain things, okay? So, this is how you do all of them. For the limbs, it's the exact same way. Just grab another segment and just add one to it or two or whatever and just make it stretchy. And I'm not saving this. So that's that. For the second thing, someone wanted an example of the sword spins, like the spinning things that I use. So I actually have like 3 or 4, if you will. So we have a side spin. We have the, well, I guess you could say the 2D version of the side spin, if you will. Then you have the super spin, which I apply to things such as like beings or organisms or stick figures or bases or whatever. And we have this thing. Doesn't really look like a spin, but trust me, that thing is a spin. And this thing. This is also a spin, but also not a spin at the same time. Now, I'll explain these separately. So for the spins, I'm going to animate them. Now, check this out. I'm going to count out the frames. 1, 2. Crazy, right? Isn't that nuts? Now, let's do this again. Let's take away one of these, because this is kind of like a little bit clunky, ain't it? Oh, snap. Can you believe? Whoa, look how clear that is. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's the spins. So because this is supposed to be simulating something spinning super super fast, you don't need a lot of frames or a lot of stick figures in order to make it look super super fast. So let's go to sword spin 2, which is this baby here, and let's duplicate because I want to ruin it. It's literally just 2 frames. So for the base frame, I added all these separate pieces, but that's because I was messing around and I didn't know what to do. And honestly, it was just super easy to make. Basically, all you need is like a stick of a segment in the middle, and you need like some round bits. And what I used was I grabbed a circle. I made it the appropriate shape. Like legit, this follows the exact same shape of a circle. I made it a different color. I added filters. I turned the opacity down and just traced over the edges of the circle. That's what I did to make this. And it was super easy to make. These pieces, you don't even have to think about it. You just have to kind of like just put it on the edge of the circle, make it look spiky at the edges, and boom, it's done. And you do the same thing all around, just add little pieces to it, just depending on where you want them. You literally can do this any type of way, and it will look good depending on, well, it will kind of look good as long as you make sure it makes sense. And for the second one, I make it do the exact same thing, but I invert it. So what I mean by that is basically the middle now turns into a mirrored image of the first one, and the outer pieces kind of like they kind of go in the middle of where the other ones were. So how this one is right here, it's no longer there anymore. Now there's something right here. So basically imagine it's like a plus and like this a minus or like a times or something or whatever, or an X basically. So if I had to explain it, basically, it's a good way to do this. Let's make this visual. So basically, one will be like this, like a plus. The other one will be like this, and that's how you make them spin extremely fast. So it takes 2 frames. So I'm gonna exit. It's the same thing for this one, but for this one, you want to make an ellipse, not a circle. So what I mean by that is you go to sword spin, side spin, there we go. Edit, duplicate. You do the exact same thing, but in this case, instead of using a circle, I have to grab an ellipse, which is the little like oval thing, and do the exact same thing. Now there's only one rule that's different with the ellipse, and that is the sheer fact that, well, it's not a perfect circle, so technically you'll have to make some, adjustments to how you make the edges. But it's the same thing. Make the general shape, go to filter, turn it down, change the color so that way you can tell what you're doing, and then put it over something, and then boom, done. Also, here's a little trick. So you see how it kind of hit its limit? I can't make it any bigger now. It's at 10. So apparently, if you go to the segment thickness and the segment length, you just already just made it super big. Look at that. Yeah, it's a little trick I discovered when I was messing around with this thing. So yeah, it's the same premise. Add a little like staff in the middle, and then just invert it into it'll just literally just invert it. That's it. That's it for the spins. And I know it seems a little simple and I'm making light of it, but you can do it any type of way. What do I mean like that? I said that this is the second version of this. This one already has a predecessor, and that is, I believe, the sword spin, but I forgot which one. There's two. It can't be that one. This is the saw one? Yeah, it's the saw. I don't know if I deleted. Let me check. Nope. No, and okay, I deleted. Well, this one's the second version of whatever the other one was. I think I deleted it because I no longer had a use for it. It was just trash, but whatever. So, and the final one is the super spin. The super spin is like it's basically like these two, but in this case, you actually have to do a little bit more thinking and a little bit more, I would say, construction as far as forming it. So for the super spin, edit, duplicate, Yeah, it looks like a lot, but it's not. It's actually just one stick figure. Well, two for the body at least. Still two frames, but it's just a little more detailed. So for the inside, I just added a bunch of spikes, like I do for all of my hits. The little reaction things I do when someone gets punched. And for the body, I just made one side, copied, pasted it, and then reflected it on the x-axis, I believe. And then I slightly changed the same shape and did the exact same thing for the second one. And I moved around the spikes. Now, the reason this looks so good right now is because the spikes are, well, not in the same place. If I left them in the same place, this thing would just look like it's flickering for some reason. And you don't know what action it's doing, but it's doing an action. So that's it. For the spins, you basically want to make 2-frame animations for each. And you want to make the first two, if you're doing a spin like for swords or for weapons, you want to make a circle. Then you want to trace the outlines of that circle, make a staff in the middle, and then you want to invert that image or reflect it for the second animation. For the spin like this one, you want to basically just make the same shape, slightly change it a bit, and add a bunch of stuff in the middle of it, and make those things change with the animation, like just flicker to simulate something else. So that's how it looks. It looks like it's spinning, but at the same time it doesn't. When I first did this, it didn't look like it made any sense. But that's because you have to use them for a specific purpose. So yeah. While I'm at it, might as well give you guys a little sneak peek for part of something, part 6. I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm just gonna show you some improvements that I made to certain animations. So the people who suggested this, thanks. And I expanded on what you suggested. So we have enhanced. I don't know who suggested it. I'm sad that I don't remember because I always boast about my memory, but I don't remember. It's just been too long. And we have juggernaut. Oops. I don't know if I even spelled it right. So we have juggernaut. So usually I delete an old animation once I improve it, but I was like, hold up. These ones they still have their uses. So for Juggernaut, this is Juggernaut. This was the old Juggernaut. The new Juggernaut is, well, this. I know you're probably like, whoa, that's amazing. How did he do that? Oh my god, it's so amazing. Yeah, that's what it is at the end of it. So that's Juggernaut now. I think it looks pretty good. For the enhanced, we have enhanced 1, and then we have enhanced 2. Oh my god, look how amazing that is. It's a circle, you know? But yeah, trust me, it's like that. It seems to be a bit faster than its old one, but I don't know why. It still weirds me out. I don't know why, but it feels faster to me despite it not showing that way. But yeah, that's enhanced. So those are 2 animations I improved since the last time. I also made some new loads, which is the little like transforming stick figure things, but I'm not going to show those on here. So yeah, that's how you do spins. That's how you do the base stick figure that I do. And that's a sneak peek into what's going to be in part 6, part of something part 6.